Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to make a program for creating a matrix in a pattern. In this program we are going to take input from the user and then we are going to create the matrix, and the elements of the matrix will be printed in a unique pattern way. So first we will execute the code. As you can see, 5 columns and 4 rows have been printed, and each row is following a pattern, and that pattern is that it is getting plused with 1, and then this 1 is getting plus with 1 becomes 2, 2 is getting plus with 2 and it becomes 4, 4 is getting plus with 3 and becomes 7, 7 is get plus with 4 and then becomes 11, and 11 is get plus with 5 and becomes 16, and then 16 will follow up again the same thing. The 16 will get plus with 1, then becomes 2, then 3 will be plus, then 4 will be plus, then again each row is following the same pattern. So for that we'll go back to our code. Here we have declared a function create underscore matrix, and then we have passes two parameters, rows and columns, and inside the function we have created the matrix to store the rows inside it, and then we have created a variable num and initialized its value to 1. Now for a range in rows means for each element in the rows starting from 0, and then inside this loop we are creating the row to store the elements inside it. And now for the columns we are using the nested loop. So for a in range columns starting from 0, and now we want to store our each element inside this row. So for that we are using the row dot append num, and for incrementing each row in this pattern we are using this line. So basically this line does that num is get plus by itself with 1 and then added with the index. I'll explain you with an example. That suppose that I have initialized the value of num as 1. So 1 is printed here. Now what will happen? This is 1. Now num will get added with 1. So num is 1 and then it is getting added with num. So num plus 1, num is already 1, so it becomes 2, and at 1 the index is 0, so a get plus, so 0 will get plus, so it will occur and no effect, so it is 2. Now it becomes 2. Now this 2 will get stored in this num, and then this num will get stored in this row, so 2 comes here. Now what will happen? Now this num is 2, and then this num will get plus with 1 and becomes 3. At 2 the index is 1, so plus a. Now the value of a is 1, so 3 plus 1 becomes 4 here. Now this num is 4, so then 4 plus 1 it becomes 5, and then at 4 the index is 2, so 5 plus 2 it becomes 7, and then 7 is printed, and it will happen for the each row. And once this first row is completed, then the row will get stored in this matrix. For that we are using the append function again. So matrix dot append row, and then we are returning the matrix. Now for taking input from the user for the number of rows and for the number of columns, we have declared two variables. For rows we have declared rows, and for columns we have declared columns. And inside this variable we are taking input from the user using the input function, and then to convert that input into integer we are using the integer function. Now we are calling our function here create underscore matrix, and then we are passing two arguments, rows and columns, and then we are storing this function calling inside this matrix variable. And now we are printing this, and now we want to print this in that each row will occur in a new line. For that we are using the for loop. So for a row in matrix we are printing the row. Now what basically these two lines are doing, that the rows present inside the matrix will get printed, that each row will get printed with the new line. So we'll again execute the code. As you can see, the row has been printed. Thanks for watching the video.